Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and my other stripper name is Read the Bible. But let's talk about the Ozark Trail DropOut Axis Lock. So, this thing, of course, it's got a ton of hype right now. Everybody's making videos on them. They're popping up all over Faceballs. And, there are the videos and guys in my Faceballs groups where it's just the words Bugout and Killer show up right next to each other again and again and again. Don't get me wrong. I am not knocking anybody at all over it. All right. It makes for a fantastic video title. It's going to be in this title. Guys are definitely looking at it from that perspective. And, so I'm not disparaging anybody for doing it at all. I haven't done it, and that's just because I have my own thoughts on the situation. And, at the end of the day, I don't think this is a bug out killer. All right. I don't. It is not going to take the Bugout out. It's not going for the same market. It's not going for the same people. Those of us that are going to buy a Bugout won't buy this and think, okay, this is as good. But it's still really, really good. And I wouldn't be as pumped up about this thing if it wasn't for the fact that I did the edge retention testing and tortured 2 of these things and got spectacular results. That's it. It's certainly no bug out killer. It's not, and I see most of that come from, the video titles. I will give you that one. I will concede that. It does what it needs to do there. But, a lot of the guys that I see making those comments on Facebook or anywhere else that aren't making a video, a lot of those are guys that just hate Benchmade and hate the bug out. And, they're just basically throwing shade at it. And it's weird. There are guys that are driving 40, 50, 60 miles out of their way to try to find these at Walmart. And guys are paying apparently $25 a pop for these things on eBay. When I was doing my live stream, I asked one of my guys, go check eBay real quick, see if they're up there for $25. And boom, it was right there. They're being scalped. And, I get the FOMO. I get the FOMO. There is a fear of missing out. If I hadn't gotten these and gotten on them real early and started getting videos out real early, I promise you right now I'd be freaking out trying to find one so that I could keep up with everybody else on my channel. That being said, if I wasn't doing content with it and it wasn't if it wasn't at the Walmart next to work or the one next to home, I wouldn't worry about it that much. If I was somewhere near a Walmart and just happened to feel like dropping by, sure. That's just me personally. I know what I'm looking at here. And what we are looking at is truly a marvel for a $10 knife. Like, it is ridiculous. The old king was the Harbor Freight Gordon GK23. That was an 8CR13, and it's so much better than it has any business being. But this coming out, it took that off of the throne, and it wasn't even a close fight. The Gordon, the 8CR13 performed exactly like 8CR13 with a good heat treatment should. It did everything great, but it's not D2. It doesn't have the axis lock. It does not perform as well as this thing does. And, one of my fears and one of the things that I heard mentioned was they're just going to make this one run and that's it. And they'll never be seen again. They've already done it. I know guys are thinking Walmart likes money. They're going to keep pumping these out. But, they've done it before. They have released stuff. Everybody loves it. There was the same panic, the same freak out, the same videos coming out about those things. And they decided they weren't going to keep that run going for multiple knives over multiple years. Now, one of the other things I see coming up is it's called a Bugout clone. It's not a Bugout clone. As a matter of fact, let's set this over here. I've got a Bugout to compare this thing to right here. And, they're not the same knife. They're not the same knife by quite a bit. All right. They're not going for the same market and they're not doing their job the same way. The Bugout is kind of like Lotus. Add lightness at all costs. You have like a partial frame in here, partial steel liners. You got some flex in here. Like I got the CF Elite, so I don't have as much flex as people complain about. But you look at this right here. Like this is a lot chunkier. This has got steel liners. Like this is designed down to a cost, and it is designed to be a $10 knife. The Bugout, that's appealing to a totally different person, totally different market, and they do not look the same. All right, they don't look like they were directly cloned. And I know the argument is they're similar enough to be a clone, but by that logic, you know, the Kaiser Drop Bear would be close enough to be considered a clone for the most part. Your Vosteed Raccoon, also close enough to be considered a clone, but those aren't called clones because people really like them, you know, and they understand they're differentiated from the Bugout. But these four knives, they do not look the same. They are very similar. And I think that's because the Bugout is like pretty much the optimized axis lock EDC size, shape, design, all that. And when you hit that optimized spot, it's hard to find another way to optimize and reinvent the wheel. You know, nobody here has reinvented the wheel. Nobody here has found, you know, a brand new way to optimize everything. They're just really good, solid designs that work. You know, and that's like, there are tons of knives that look incredibly similar just because that is the optimal style, the optimal size, optimal rough shape. Like, it is what it is. You know, so it's just, I highly disagree with it being called a clone. And it's really interesting because this right here and this right here, the $5 axis locks from the holidays of last year, those got called the Bugout Killer. And I'll tell you right now, the steel on these things is absolute trash. You know, we strongly suspect this is like 420J2, but given how it performed and everything else that I've seen, I'm more prone to saying 4116. Like, they lasted an hour of Cardboard Slayer before the edge crapped out. I believe this one was the one I sharpened and went back in, and I pushed it out to closer to 2 hours. I'd have to go back and look. It is on the playlist, the Cardboard Slayer Aftermath playlist, if you want to see the exact specifics on these things. So the evidence and the track record is there. I did leave receipts. But, you know, it's just... And when Walmart drops another Ozark Trail axis lock, that's going to be our next Bugout Killer. And again, like, I am worried one run of this and they'll never sell them again, and it sucks. You know, the Harbor Freight Gordon GK23 is probably going to get its spot back on the throne just because you can still buy them. They still sell them. They've been out for a while and they're still making them and selling them. You know, and I strongly, like, personally, I expect that when these are gone and they're done selling them, they're not bringing in more. So I do understand the FOMO. Like I said, I understand. And if I didn't have mine and I wasn't, you know, like, if I wasn't doing videos and I didn't have these, I wouldn't sweat it that hard. But because I'm doing content for YouTube and I hadn't got on this when I did, I would be panicking right now trying to find them pretty much anywhere to get my videos done too. So I understand guys with channels struggling with it, but honestly, if you don't have one at the Walmarts near you, don't go too crazy trying to get them. You know, everybody's gonna have them showing off, and I give it about a month and a half to 2 months. Everybody's gonna forget this ever existed. Guys are still gonna get them. You know, you'll have videos trickling in from guys that got them late and getting their videos in too. And I hope to God those guys do get them, and I hope they get them sooner rather than later, so they can also, you know, capitalize on the hype. You know, they can get their videos done, get their share of the pie, and, you know, everybody's channels can grow and get new eyes on it. You know, that's part of the reason I've done what I've done to these things is, you know, one, I want to know and I want to share with you just exactly what these things are capable of. And two, I love getting new eyes on the channel. This thing has helped me so much just in the last week here. It is amazing what, you know, just catching the hype train early has done. So, yeah. I'm not mad at this, and, you know, there's just a wide range of opinions about it, and a wide range of people that are having, you know, different experiences. You know, I've had one guy that said his edge rolled. He's not happy with the HRC on it. I am totally happy with the HRC on the two I've run. They've got their QC issues, but, you know, at least, like this one, the QC was built into every single one that left the factory. You know, that's part of why my reviews are done the way they are. You know, I saw so many reviews on this thing where guys take it out of the box and literally they were using the flipper tab and then pulling the axis lock and closing it with two hands. So many videos. And then they'd open it and they'd close it two-hand again while they're talking about it. And then, you know, after the third time, they do this and they're like, yeah, it's great. You know, get one of these, get some for your friends. They're fantastic. Like clockwork. And, you know, I pointed it out in every single video I saw. Just the channel that the flipper tab creates so that the axis lock rides in it was horribly malformed from the factory. Every single one. You pull the axis lock and try to open it, and it hung up right here and just would not open any further. You know, it's doing that right now because it's still not perfect, but I had to take this thing apart and put a ton of work into it to get it working right. You know, that's why I carry these things. I beat on them. I do cardboard slayer with them. You know, I want to give you guys the best information I can. Now, there will be one more cardboard slayer with this thing because this has got a brand new 17-degree mirrored edge on each side. And this is going to go back in to see if a hand sharpened edge at that angle increases or reduces the wear time on it. And, you know, I don't want to put myself through it, but I got to for you guys. And I want to know myself. I want to know and I want to share it with you. If you get this for $10 and you hand sharpen it and put a good edge on it, does it get even better after that? So, I said, I wanted to share these thoughts. Like, I've been watching it happen, and these thoughts have kind of been caught in my head and just turning around all day long. Like, it's just like my whole day at work, I'm just thinking about this stuff. And, you know, let's have a discussion in the comments. Let's talk about this. Let's see what everybody else thinks about it. I'm certainly not the only voice here. I'm certainly not the only person that has this and has opinions on it. But, yeah, just what do you think? Do you think this is actually a Bugout Killer? Do you think it's a clone? Like, do you think it's worth the hype? Do you think it's worth driving to 15 different Walmarts for it? Like, what do you think? So, yeah, I'm just rambling right now and killing more of your time and holding you hostage here. So thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all have been coming in so fast, and I appreciate it so much. You have no idea how much of a boost that's been for me personally. If you haven't subbed, please do. I've got 4 knives to give away at 2K, so get in here and try to win yourself a knife. Comments, you know I love some feedback. Let's talk about these things. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.